So you're a high school defensive tackle looking to take your talents to the next level. Today we're going to talk about the 5 things you're going to need to show on your highlight video if you want to capture the attention of those college football coaches on the Gridiron Stud Show. Hey, I'm talking to you. Recruiting advice for everyone. It's the Gridiron Stud Show. Yes, defensive tackle. It's the lifeblood of the defense. Got to be sound up the middle, right? Well, if you're pretty good at it at the high school level and you're thinking you want to take this to the next level, there are definitely some things you're going to need to have on your resume, i.e. your highlight video. But before we jump into that, go ahead and hit the subscribe button as well as the bell so you're informed the next time I put out a recruiting video like this one that you can use to your advantage when it comes time to trying to secure some offers and get to the next level. Also, if you're a high school football player or you're the parent of a high school football player, I will urge you right now to go download the Gridiron Studs app. It is a college football recruiting app being used by college coaches as well as fans all across the country. You can be discovered there. Don't go around toiling in vain. All right, you're doing well out there in the field. You need to be seen. So go ahead and download the Gridiron Studs app. I'll have a link to it in the description. Create a profile, boost your recruiting. So let's get into this whole what you need on your defensive tackle highlight video right now. All right, number 1, you're going to have a great get off. You got to be able to explode out of that stance, man, with the snap of that ball. Get into the backfield, get into that guy in front of you, defeat him, and either wreck the running back that's getting the ball or be all over the quarterback. There's nothing like a good get off. It's nothing like watching a guy explode out of his stance. It's very, very impressive when they cut the film on. It's going to capture our college coach's attention right away. And on top of that, man, when you have a great get off, you're seriously hard to deal with, okay? Offensive linemen don't want to deal with it. The quarterbacks certainly don't want to be chased the moment they get the ball in the hand. And you know, running backs love to find the holes. If you're penetrating into the backfield because of your great get off, you are totally disrupting the play and you're going to piss those guys off. So one thing that will really stand out from the word go on your highlight video is if you've got an explosive get off. And what you can do is if you are a guy with a great get off, you could put some of those clips on your highlight video even when you weren't the guy that made the play. It's very impressive. So you might have exploded out of your stance and the play went away from you and you weren't, the first guy on the scene or you didn't make the play, unfortunately, but you had that great get off. It's important that you show that. If you don't have a ton of plays in your highlight video where you were able to get there for one reason or another, you can throw a couple of those plays in there where you had a tremendous get off. It's exciting to watch. It's going to capture a coach's attention. Of course, there are going to be some other things you're going to need to have on there, but definitely want to have that explosive get off in there. If you're a guy that doesn't have that right now and you're a young player, you want to get in that weight room. The explosive lifts, the Olympic lifts like power clean are definitely going to help you in that area. But number 1 is your great get off. Number 2 is getting off of blocks. Man, you're in the middle of the defense, all right? You're going to get blocked. There's guys there. Now, getting blocked is not the problem. Staying blocked, that's the problem. And as a defensive tackle, guys will get their hands on you. Blockers will come your way. You've got to be able to show that you can get off of those blocks, get to the ball carrier, and make things happen. There's nothing worse than a guy who gets those hands put on him and he gets ridden out of the play, or he can't get off of the block and now they're just running around him. That doesn't make for a good defensive tackle, and it certainly doesn't make for a guy that's going to get offers from college football coaches. Be able to use your hands, and if you can, definitely want to show that. It's another one of those things where you may be able to put that on your highlight video where a guy was trying to block you and you really had some good moves getting off of the block and pursuing the ball carrier. Maybe you weren't the first guy there on that play, but you did absolutely show that you can defeat blocks. That's impressive. It's something that would be taught to you at the next level, but if you're coming in already with it, it's just a really big bonus for you. So number 2 is show how you are able to get off of blocks. There are a lot of guys out there with highlight videos where for one reason or another, they're lined up at defensive tackle and the offense forgot to block them. Or they got off the ball so fast that, someone totally missed the block. Those are great. You ran into the backfield, you blew up the guy with the ball. Those are awesome. However, at the next level, that's not going to really happen very often, okay? So you have to be able to show that when the blocks come your way, you know how to shed a block, you know how to extend, you know how to use your hands, get off of a block, and go make a tackle. So make sure you're showing that on your highlight video. Number 3 is handling double teams. If you're good at number 1, you have a good get off, and you're good at number 2, you're good at getting off blocks, guess what's coming, guys? 2 guys, all right? and you got to treat it as a badge of honor. When the offense starts sending two guys at you, that means you're doing something good. However, that doesn't mean you get to just stand there and say, oh, well, they put two guys on me, so all right, let me just take this play off. No, you've got to be able to show that you can get off of a double team, because you know what? Double teams are a part of the game, especially with all of the stretch runs and the zone run offenses that you're going to be facing. You're going to get double teams on you. And if you can show that you can split a double team, or at least stand your ground against double teams, it's definitely a plus in your favor. You look like a guy that could play at the college football level. Like I said, in high school, not everyone on those offensive lines are guys that are going to play at the next level. A lot of times they're guys that are just going to play high school ball, and they're doing it for one reason or another. They're not going to go beyond that. At the next level, though, you're going to have a lot of times where you get four hands put on you. There's four legs trying to run you out of a play. And if you can display any kind of efficiency in handling double teams, splitting double teams, and getting into the backfield and causing some mayhem, it's definitely a big plus for you on your highlight video. In that weight room, one of the best ways for you to handle that is get your lower body strength together, all right? If you can sit your weight down and not get moved or hold your ground, that is a big plus, as I said, and you can develop that in the weight room, squats, all that good stuff, all right? No one really likes squatting, but man, if you're a guy that can get in there and squat some really good weight, you're probably going to stand a really good chance against those double teams. So number 3 is show that you can handle double teams. Number 4, show that you have a motor. There's nothing worse for an offense than a defensive tackle that will run from sideline to sideline and cut off big plays. It absolutely drives them nuts, and it's a really a big eye catcher for college football coaches. If they could turn that tape on and see a big guy in the middle that's moving different than everyone else, it's really going to capture college coaches' attention. I can tell you that right now. You might be lacking some of the other things. And I know there are guys that are watching this that know that they're undersized, all right? You're a 6-foot defensive tackle, or you're 5'11", or something of that nature. You're not falling into the dimensions that all the other big-time guys have. They're 6'3", 6'4", etc., etc. If you're an undersized guy, the best thing you could have is a really good motor, all right? Get off of blocks, get sideline to sideline. When a ball is thrown, turn around, go run and get after the wide receiver, make tackles, force fumbles, inflict your pain. But a guy that is constantly running around and has a motor is a very difficult guy for offenses to deal with. And as such, they become a guy that is very attractive to college football coaches. How do we get that motor? It's simple, fellas. You've got to be in shape. Do the extra running. Take the conditioning seriously. Don't ever be the last guy in conditioning. Yes, you're a big body, but a big body that can move is always impressive in the game of football, and that's going to be the way that you can develop your nonstop motor that impresses college coaches. And number 5, this is the sexy part. Got to be able to show those pass rush moves, right? It's a passing league. Everyone's throwing the ball around. Whether you're in high school, college, at the professional level, it's become a whole lot more about the passing attacks. And if you, at defensive tackle, can disrupt what's going on in the passing game, if you could move the quarterback off his mark, make him get out of the pocket, you become attractive. Yes, I know defensive tackles are there to stop the run first. Yes, you have to stop the run. But if you can also add to your resume a guy that can push the pocket, penetrate, make quarterbacks move, knock balls down, or get sacks a la Aaron Donald, then you become extremely attractive to college football coaches that are out there recruiting for defensive tackles. So it is in your best interest to learn those pass rush moves. It's in your best interest to have those martial arts arm movements and keep guys off of you as you rush the passer. Show all of that good stuff on your highlight video. And if you have some clips from, a camp where you're doing some one-on-ones, you definitely would want to show that. And you do want to take those one-on-ones seriously when you go to camp. Take your one-on-ones seriously when you're doing them in practice, because that's where you're going to hone those pass rush skills and show that even though you're a big guy in the middle, you can still get to the passer and cause a problem. And it also causes you to not have to come off the field on obvious pass downs like third down. If you're a guy that stays in there, you're a 3-down, 4-down defensive tackle. Again, that just adds to your value. So it's in your best interest to learn how to use your hands, develop those pass rush moves, and don't just be a guy whose arms are at his side and gets bodied up. And you can't also be this guy that just your only move as a defensive tackle is a bull rush, okay? You got to have some more techniques than that. You got to have other tools in your tool belt. So if you have that, definitely show it on your highlight video. If you don't, you definitely want to develop that right now because it is attractive to those college football coaches. All right, and that's it. Listen, I know everyone gets hung up on how big they are and do they fit the dimensions. Yes, and I've let you know that college football is a beauty contest. They do get out on, the college coaches do get out on the trail, and they're looking for a certain size and a certain height and a certain weight. Listen, understand this. Yes, they may be looking for that. Not everyone's going to find it. So when they don't find it and they're still looking for guys, what are they going to see in you? Everything that I talked about here are things that you can develop on your own. Nothing I said here was about your height or your weight or anything like that. All of these are things that you can work to develop. Let's be honest, if you don't fit the dimensions, if you're not the ideal height or the ideal weight, well, then you need to be really, really good at all of these things that I named here. So get to work on those things. And even if you are the size that you need to be, the size that everyone's looking for, being really, really great at these things only makes you that much better. All right. So you have these 5 things. Go ahead and start working on that. And if it's already a part of your resume, guys, put your highlight video together and show all these things. These are things that you want to show in the first 2 minutes of your highlight video. Give the college coach a complete picture of what it is they would be getting in a guy like you if they were recruiting. Okay, hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, definitely give it a like. Definitely go ahead and share it to other guys that you know may be needing this, and drop a comment in there. Out of those 5 things, what thing do you do the best? Go ahead and drop that on the comment there. I'll be there to read all of those. Again, before you leave, make sure you subscribe to the channel, hit the bell, and check that description down below. I'm going to have the link to the Gridiron Studs recruiting app. If you're not on it right now, you definitely want to go ahead and download that, create your profile, and boost your recruiting. All right, hope you guys enjoyed this. Until next time, Gridiron Studs, be seen.